Coordinating Minister for National Security K Shanmugam says Singapore plans to build up its stockpiles despite the higher cost, something the government deems necessary amid the ongoing Iran war. He adds that the country has not tapped its fuel reserves or introduced rationing, but warns that disruptions to its energy and electricity supply cannot be ruled out if the situation worsens. Sabrina Ng reports.
Singapore has not imposed fuel export controls or rationing since the Iran war began, unlike other countries. Mr. K Shanmugam says this reflects decades of long-term planning. But even as Singapore continues to meet fuel needs, prolonged disruptions could bring a more volatile outlook.
Prices are likely to remain high even after hostilities cease. Damage to infrastructure in the Middle East will take time to repair. In the broader term, we are concerned about broader disruptions to global supply chains, which can affect goods critical to Singapore's economy and essential services.
On the issue of electricity supply, resilience was strengthened by diversifying energy sources. There are also plans to boost Singapore's fuel reserves. Mr. Shanmugam, who also chairs a crisis committee managing the impact of the war, says potential disruptions to Singapore's energy and electricity supply cannot be ruled out. However, he stresses that this remains a low probability scenario for now. Singapore will also continue expanding its energy mix, including solar and regional power imports in the near term. It is also studying options like nuclear energy, but he says such a move will require careful and rigorous evaluation.
We have been building up the technical expertise to evaluate the technology as it develops, and we are partnering overseas governments and companies who are leaders in this field. We really need the best expertise on this. We will continue to study these very carefully and rigorously, and there are dedicated teams in government that are doing this.
On food security, the main concern is rising prices. Higher energy costs are also pushing up fertilizer, transport and storage costs, driving up food inflation. Singapore keeps stockpiles of essential items and is reviewing supply chains to boost resilience. Mr. Shanmugam says supplies of some foods may be disrupted, so he urged consumers to be prepared to switch to alternatives. He also answered questions from MPs on the extent of Singapore's fuel reserves and food stockpiles.
As a policy, we do not disclose these. That is deliberate. Disclosing such details would reveal where our limits lie, and that could be used against Singapore in times of crisis. What matters is that we have sufficient buffers and contingency plans in place, and we regularly review and strengthen these arrangements to ensure that they remain robust.
Mr. Shanmugam says the government will monitor the situation closely and respond as one to steer the country through this crisis.